What's going on, Aces? What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Hope that everybody is having a wonderful late night Wednesday, early Thursday morning. So, attorney Tyrone Blackburn. Now, his name is usually connected to all kind of celebrity clients and just being a mess. He's been reprimanded several times by several different judges. If you know, you know. Okay. Well, this time he has finally found himself behind bars for allegedly hitting a process server with his car. Let's go ahead and get into this story. So it says Tyrone Blackburn, the attorney representing Fat Joe's former hype man who was suing him in a $20 million civil lawsuit, has reportedly taken into custody on Wednesday morning in connection with allegedly hitting a process server with his car. I'm like, what is going on over there with Tyrone? As previously recorded, Terrence Dixon's lawsuit against Fat Joe was preceded by the Terror Squad Entertainment founder accusing him of extortion and defamation in a prior suit. Blackburn was also named. So if you guys want to check it out, I made a separate video about that. But this is a mess. When your lawyer go to jail, it's not looking good. Okay. Um, Per a report from TMZ, this is a complex article. I'll link it so you guys can read it for yourself if you want to. Citing a New York police rep, Blackburn was arrested for assault, child. The accusation stems from an alleged incident in May of this year in which Blackburn is said to have caused the process server's minor injury after hitting him with his vehicle. I don't care how minor it is. If you intentionally hit somebody with a car, a 2-ton moving vehicle, I'm surprised they didn't charge him with attempted M. And I'm so serious. Like, that is ridiculous. Joe's legal team argues that this was done intentionally to avoid being served. Tyrone Blackburn's arrest comes as no surprise to me. It's just the latest example of his malicious and manipulative pattern of misconduct finally coming to light. Joe Tacopina, who is Joe's lawyer, said in a statement on Wednesday, Blackburn is an embarrassment to the legal profession and is a disgrace watching him use the court system to shield his extortion tactics. Tacopina continued, this is exactly why Mr. Cartaniga, which is Fat Joe's last name, proactively sued Blackburn and his client, Terrence Dixon, in April because he knew that they intended to try to destroy his reputation by peddling salacious lies. Today's arrest is just the first step, but I'm confident that my client's name will be cleared from all these falsehoods and Blackburn will be brought to justice once and for all. Complex has reached out to the New York Police Department and the representatives for comment, as well as Blackburn's office. This story may be updated, and if it is updated, I'll have to bring you guys the update. But this is, y'all, this is a mess. Last week, Tacopina slammed Dixon's lawsuit as both a blatant act of retaliation and a desperate attempt to deflect attention from the civil suit that we filed first. The lawyers also argued that Dixon and Blackburn were attempting to extort his client by using lies, threats, and manufactured allegations. Dixon is describing the suit against Joe as not only a former hype man for the artist, but also allegedly a lyricist, a background vocalist, a security team member, and a creative collaborator. Joe's legal team, meanwhile, has called Blackburn's legal practices into question in public statement. 50 Cent was also, though, among those mentioned in Dixon's lawsuit. Expectedly, he was quick to respond via Instagram, saying in part that these baseless accusations and claims are not credible. So I feel like 50 Cent probably got with his lawyer because y'all know 50 Cent is one of the biggest trolls on the internet. Okay. I'm really surprised that he didn't have any, clap back or anything crazy to say, but I'm sure that, 50 Cent is over there with his power empire and he's trying to build his whole, studio. So, trying to follow in the footsteps of Tyler Perry. So he's probably trying to move a little bit more strategically, or at least his legal team is telling him to do so, and just say that the claims are baseless. That was smart. So, you guys, I'm going to have to keep you updated because Tyrone Blackburn, I mean, it's one thing to, write extremely long, lawsuits and use colorful language. Like most lawsuits that we've seen, they can range from 40, 50, 70, 60, 70 pages, whatever. But the ones that Tyrone Blackburn, this is like 100, and, I think the one that they're mentioned here, Terrence Dixon, is like 149 pages or something, 150 pages, something like that. They're ridiculously long. The language is extremely colorful. He definitely has a flair to writing. I'm not sure, what law school Tyrone Blackburn went to, but I can say that he definitely does things. He, to his own. He beats his to his own drum, right? But in all seriousness, I really truly hope that the person that he attempted to harm with his car allegedly, because I wasn't there, it's all alleged. But I hope that this person is okay, the process server, and I really hope that the Tyrone Blackburn really does some time to reflect. You know, during this time behind bars, I really hope he's taking some time to realize that you want to have a reputation in the legal profession as somebody who is taken seriously, who is somebody who is respected, and not to find yourself behind bars, right? That's not a good look. Like you don't want you don't want your lawyer standing next to you in the jail cell. Nobody wants that. It's not a good look. So you don't want to, try to run people down with your car. Because like I said, I don't care. They're talking about it's quote unquote minor injuries, unless it was a complete accident. And even then, like I said, I hope this person is okay. But there's rear view mirrors for a reason. There's all kind of, precautions that people take. Um, like I said, I wasn't there, but this whole situation just sounds really concerning. And the fact that I've heard more about Tyrone Blackburn in these last, few months than I have about, whether or not his clients have won. I haven't heard him win any cases, unfortunately. I haven't heard his, his legal record be one that is, successful. And that's unfortunate because, like I said, you definitely don't want to gain a reputation in the legal profession or among your colleagues or among judges as somebody who's just grandstanding and just not someone to be respected when it comes to the law. I mean, your reputation precedes you in almost any industry, but particularly the legal representation that you have. um, you're dealing with people's lives, like that's life or death. Um, it just makes me think of the Drewski skit, you know what I mean, where he's talking about how he's on the phone with his lawyer. He's like, the good news is, your payment came through. The bad news is they gave you life, sayonara, sucker, because you don't want to have a lawyer that has such a negative representation or reputation among his colleagues and the judges that you don't get a fair shake. You know what I mean? I don't know if Terrence Dixon is going to stay with Tyrone Blackburn or not. I know listen, personally, I wouldn't. If I had a lawyer who got arrested for, this isn't like civil disobedience or, fighting for somebody's civil liberties. This is allegedly hitting a process server with a car. Like, if you can't, have enough emotional regulation um, and critical thinking skills and de escalation skills, you're supposed to be a logical, legal mind, right? You can't do that basic, people, the 16 years old, when they get their license, they know enough to not run people, down with their cars. So I would have to move on. But that's me. I don't know what Terrence Dixon's going to do. Um, but that it's just like you don't want to walk into the courtroom with one strike against you. You're paying a lawyer and they're behind bars. That's not a good look. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, Aces. Bye.